Ladies and gentlemen, Pioneer Men's Varsity Lacrosse is live and on the air. We don't have our music in today, but we want to welcome everyone. We are live at Hollway Field, where it is Pioneer taking on their rivals from just down the street at Saline. Pioneer versus the Saline Hornets. Let's take a look and see exactly what the records are, as Pioneer has a 4-win streak going. Their last loss was, well, to the Saline team. That was back over at Saline back on the 20th. So Pioneer won the first game versus Novi, lost 2 games in overtime, one versus Salem and Skyline. The Huron game was canceled, and then Pioneer lost to Saline. Then they have won 4 in a row. They beat Bedford 13-10 here at Hollway Field. They beat Skyline 8-5. That was also at Hollway Field. They beat Howell over at Howell. That was 10-8. And then they beat Huron in their last game, and that was a 13-1 win by Pioneer. So that makes them 7-3 on the season. Taking a look over at the Saline Hornets. Saline Hornets are 9-3, so Pioneer 7-3. Saline with 2 more wins, very similar records. Saline started off with a win. That was versus Canton. They had a loss versus Seaholm. That was an away game, 9-7. Then they lost to Brighton. That was 15-6. They started off 1-2. They then beat Bedford. That was over at Bedford. That was a 15-8 win. Then they lost to Detroit Country Day. That over at Detroit Country Day in the indoor field house. That was 21-5. The Skyline game was postponed. And then Saline has 7 wins in a row as they beat Pioneer. Then they went on to beat Huron. That was at Huron, 15-0. They beat Skyline at Skyline, 10-2. They beat Bedford over at Hornet Stadium, 20-8. They beat Toledo St. Francis de La Salle School of Toledo. That was at Saline. That was 13-7. They went to overtime versus South Lyon. That over at Aux Stadium. That at Saline. That was 11-10. Overtime win by Saline. And then they beat Skyline 10-5. That was back on the 2nd of May. So these are big SEC Red points as Pioneer. Saline has the lead in the SEC Red. Saline has 12 points there, 6-0 in the SEC Red. That's 4 points in front of Pioneer. Pioneer is 4-1, so Saline has a game in hand in the SEC on Pioneer. And Pioneer has 1 more loss than Saline. But Pioneer 4 points behind with 8 points. Bedford has 6 points. Skyline 4, and Huron nothing. So that's how the SEC racks up. So these are huge points here, as this is a 4-point swing for Pioneer. If they can win this game, they will climb closer, and Saline won't climb away. Whereas if Saline wins this game, they go up by 2, and Pioneer does not. So big swing here for Pioneer. Let's take a look at the white division. Chelsea has 10 points over in the white division, leading the way. They're tied with Dexter with 10 points. Tecumseh has 2 wins for 4 points. Pinckney has 2 wins for 4 points. And Lincoln is currently winless. And that is where we're standing here as we are counting down. I'm going to step away for a moment, see if we can't get the music set up so we can have some PSAs and music, and we will get going in just a moment. So we have about 4 minutes, 30 seconds. Thank you, everyone. As I'm trying to get our computer with the music booted up, we do want to thank all the wonderful, amazing sponsors of Pioneer Men's Lacrosse. That includes our platinum sponsors, which is Ron's Garage, Germain Honda of Ann Arbor, Gago Specialty Eye Institute, Templeton Franklin, Pollock Investments, and Goggle Fertility Center. Gold sponsors includes Stadium Hardware, Linda Forrester of Real Estate One, McNamara Orthodontics, State and Liberty Clothing, Ann Arbor Made, and Monahan Seafood Restaurant. Silver sponsors includes Ann Arbor Lawn Care, Orange Theory, the Cow Family, and Adam Eichner Realty. As we're counting down, as you can, when you come into the stadium, check out the wonderful banner right in front as you're looking down, and you can see all the wonderful sponsors. Please, please help support all these wonderful, wonderful folks in the community who help support Pioneer Lacrosse. It's been, as we said before, it's been really, really tough to fundraise the last couple of years, and so we really appreciate all the wonderful sponsors of Pioneer Lacrosse. We have about 50 seconds counting down. Everyone getting warmed up as Saline has gone into the locker room. Now they're coming back. Pioneer gathered around, a few folks out on the pitch, and then gathered around the coaching staff. It looks like Denson is getting some work between the pipes. Both Denson and Miranda have been fantastic for Pioneer in goal throughout. Some wonderful, amazing, amazing saves by Denson in the last couple games. And let's play a quick message from the MHSAA.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular.
Let's actually go into the starting lineup for Saline. It is Eshelman, number 3, Sears, number 5, Keller, number 6, Balat, number 9, Crouch, number 11, number 12 is Fisk, number 11 is Robeson, number 19 is Clark, number 20 is Shembel, number 21 is Michael Webster, and those are your starters. Pioneer starters. So they have some wonderful opening starting lineup music going on. Sayre comes out. Ayers starting. Cow starting for Pioneer. Suter starting for Pioneer. McDaniel starting for Pioneer. Armand Gago starting for Pioneer. Lucas Schaefer starting for Pioneer. Philip Schaefer starting on defense. August Gago starting on defense. Adam Porter starting for Pioneer. And Heatley starting, and in goal is Denson. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, the playing of the national anthem. As we're getting ready to go here, 12 minutes up on the clock, and I want to say a big thank you to our cameraman and engineer extraordinaire, James Wiseman, as was actually teaching an accounting class about half an hour ago, and he got us set up so I could race right in and still come in and do a little play-by-play. This is Teacher Appreciation Night, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. As a son of a teacher, I always really appreciate teacher appreciation, and thank you to all the amazing teachers out there who have made huge differences in all of our lives. The official standing out on midfield. It is a gray, cloudy day, although the temperature not too bad, 57 degrees here at Hollway Field, although it's dropped about 4 degrees in the last 45 minutes. Gray clouds blanketing the sky, not a blue speck to be seen, but such is spring here in Michigan. We haven't had too many days that haven't threatened to rain. Field looks in very good shape. You gotta love the turf. Despite the fact that we had heavy amounts of rain in the Ann Arbor area, field looks fantastic, as that field turf is excellent. The starting lineups lined up, facing each other right at the blockades, as Eshelman and Denzen bump fists and then head down. Pioneer going from right to left here in the opening quarter. Pioneer wearing their home white jerseys with the gray numbers on the front and on the back, as they have the white shorts and the black helmets with the blockades on them. Saline is in their yellow jerseys. They have the kind of dark blue with a little bit of gray on the front and on the back on the numbers. Saline in block lettering and dark pants, and they have the dark helmets. Set up to take the draw, Ayers battling Balot. Ayers trying to rake it up. Ayers has it. Ayers heading outside the hash marks over midfield. Ayers racing down the numbers on the far side. Ayers into the attack zone. Now steps back. Robeson was watching him. Ayers fires it over to Armand Gago. Armand Gago just inside the numbers fires it over to Sayre. Sayre moves it back underneath the goal line, extended to Cal. Cal trying to race and cut above the goal line on the far side. Now Cal just underneath the goal line, extended on that far wing. Cal goes above the goal line, extended, fires that back out, top of the attack zone, over to Armand Gago. Over to Suter between the hash marks. Suter moves it over to Lucas Schaefer on the near wing. Back to Suter just outside the attack zone. Suter steps right on the restraining line, flips that over to Heatley. Heatley on the near hash marks, fires it back over to Suter on the far hash marks, just outside of the attack zone. Moved over to Sayre on the far wing. Sayre comes up about halfway between. Sayre with a bounce shot, and that's saved as that's grabbed. Eshelman fires it over on the far wing. Saline with it, coming ahead with it. Here comes Michael Webster. Michael Webster trying to make it over midfield. Armand Gago trying to separate him from the ball. Michael Webster over the restraining line, now top of the attack zone. Michael Webster flips that over on the wing, trying to bring it in. That fired over as Crouch fires over on the far side. Shot and a score, as that was number 19, Griffin Clark, with the score. Griffin Clark had a fantastic hockey season against Pioneer as well. So starting the scoring for Saline, that at the 10:40 mark. Saline up 1-0 on the Clark goal. It's Gear in to take the draw for Pioneer. On the other side is Balot, trying to rake it up. Balot has it. Balot goes down to a knee, trying to rake it up. Now coming down on the far wing. Rosenberg trying to get it, but that pulled in. Roberson has it. Roberson kicks out to Fisk. Fisk is about 10 yards outside the attack zone between the hash marks. Fisk fires it over to Miller. Miller, oncoming substitute for attack. Miller working against Rosenberg. Miller on the near wing outside of the hash marks, fires it back. Top of the attack zone, just outside in the midfield area for Robeson. Robeson spins between the hash marks, fires it on the near wing. That on a hop. Clark has it. Clark, the lone goal scorer, goes underneath the goal line, extended on the near wing. Clark fires it underneath the goal line, extended. Sears underneath the goal line, extended on the far wing. Sears fires it all the way back out into the midfield area. Robeson gets a nice check from Gear. That ball loose on the far wing. Miller trying to rake it up. Miller has it on the far sideline. Miller Tosses it back to Robeson. There is a flag, delayed penalty coming up the Pioneer. Fisk hands it on the near wing. Now moves it over to Crouch. Crouch sends it underneath. That to Sears. Sears goes above the goal line extended on the near wing. Sears now underneath the goal line extended on the near wing. Flips that over on a hop. Gets that over on the far wing. Gear trying to get it. Ground ball in there. Fisk trying to pull it up as well. There is a push call as Gear was battling Clark on that far wing. As some substitutions coming in, Pioneer with that flag. Gear is going to have to take a knee. Saline will be man up at the 9:23 mark. Saline has the 1-0 lead here on Pioneer. Waiting for the whistle as that along the near corner Crouch. That pulled away by Lucas Schaefer over to Denson. Denson in his own crease moves it back to Lucas Schaefer. Lucas Schaefer coming up the numbers on the near wing. Lucas Schaefer steps back, fires it back to Denson. Denson outside of his crease moves it over on the far wing to Suter. Suter fires it, the long ball all the way down on a hop, trying to get it. That knocked down by Michael Clark. Sayre trying to pull that up. Now that raked up over on the far wing by Lucas Schaefer. Lucas Schaefer right at the restraining line, racing down outside the numbers on the far wing. Lucas Schaefer underneath the goal line extended. Comes over to the near side, trying to get around that crease. Now Lucas Schaefer spins right out in front. Lucas Schaefer, now he is walled off. That ball raked up as Eshelman has it. So whistle, Eshelman fires it over on the far wing. Here comes Saline racing down to the far sideline. Is trying to come ahead with it is Schembel. Schembel over midfield. That ahead to Fisk. Fisk launches it between. That's a ground ball on the near wing. Racing to get it is Crouch. Crouch gets it right before it goes out of bounds. Now he rakes it up. Suter comes over to try and knock that ball away from Crouch. Crouch fires it between the hash marks. That a ground ball. Trying to get it to Fisk, but raked up over by Clark. Clark gets it over to Miller. Miller fires it to an oncoming. Trying to see as that is Baum, who just came on. That ball over on the near wing goes out of bounds. That is going to stay Saline ball. Crouch will have it on the near sideline. 7:59 left to go. Crouch, even with the goal, now comes above the goal line extended. Crouch racing down that goal line, fires. That ball loose out in front, trying to rake it up. Here comes Armand Gago. Armand Gago over his own restraining line into the midfield area. Armand Gago over midfield, racing down the far sideline. Firing that over to Heatley. Heatley trying to rake it up. That's a ground ball right in the middle. Trying to grab it is Miller. Miller races over on the far wing, and Saline gains control. Miller launches it over to Eshelman. Eshelman back behind his own goal. Cal coming over to try and provide pressure on a hop. Here comes Michael Webster. Michael Webster out of his own defensive zone. Fires it over midfield. That grab by Keller. Keller into the attack zone. Keller launches it between the hash marks. Shot. And that over along the far wing out of bounds. That is going to stay with Saline. 7:10 left to go here in the first quarter. Saline up 1-0. That ball on the far wing moved over to Clark. Clark outside the numbers moves it back into the midfield area as Brophy coming down into the attack zone. Brophy just inside the numbers now trying to make his way. Sidearm shot. Denson with the save. Sidearm shot from about 15 yards out. Denson plucks it out of midair. Denson outside of his crease coming ahead with it. 6:46 left to go here in the first. That's skied over midfield. Here comes McDaniel. McDaniel goes over the restraining line into the attack zone. Over to Lucas Schaefer. Lucas Schaefer over to Cow. Cow even with the goal. Now underneath the goal on the near wing. Underneath that goal line extended. Cow spins with it. Heads towards the crease. Back behind the goal. Now coming over on the far wing. Cow trying to get above the goal line extended. Shot. That one goes just deflected wide. Closest to it is going to be Keller for Saline. Saline able to run it out. They have possession. 1-0. Saline with the lead. Here comes Keller. Keller fires it. That just misses Coquelles. Now that loose, trying to rake it up over there. Snook DeFallo trying to get it, but that pulled up by Sears. Sears on the far wing for Saline. Gets that over. Shot over to Balot. Number 9, Balot fires it in, and that makes it 2-0 Saline. Balak got it just about 7 yards out in front between the hash marks. Tough shot for Denson to try and cover. Good ball movement by Saline Pioneer. Looking up at a 2-0 deficit. Ayers in to try and grab the draw. On the other side is someone I didn't have on my roster. That is going to be Oren Hauff. That ball gathered away. Now fired by Saline behind the back. Oren Hauff has it on the far wing. That loose. Suter rakes it up. Suter goes over midfield. Pioneer coming down the far sideline with it. Suter outside the numbers into the attack zone. Suter now stops, spins with it. Suter comes along the far sideline. Now moves it back further deeper into the zone over to Sayre. Sayre underneath the goal line extended over to Cow on the near wing. Cow feeds it over to Lucas Schaefer. Lucas Schaefer top of the attack zone over to Churchill. Churchill feeds it over to Suter. Suter just outside the attack zone, about 7 yards out on the far hash marks. Suter now gets a running start into the attack zone. Suter outside the hash marks with a shot as that deflected ball loose. Raking it up on the far wing is Schembel. Schembel feeds it ahead. Coming down is Balat. Balat on that far wing. Churchill trying to separate him from the ball as that's fired ahead. Now spinning with it, Clark. Drops it back over on that far sideline. Racing ahead with it was Brophy, but that goes over to Pioneer. 4:56 left to go. Timeout called. We'll take it with them. Saline with the 2-0 lead. You are watching Pioneer Men's Varsity Lacrosse, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. Let's have a message from the MHSAA.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Well, we want to say hello to former Pioneer lacrosse and hockey player Liam Schaefer, listening over in Germany and watching his brothers Lucas and Philip battling Saline here. Thank you very much for your wonderful, wonderful time here at Pioneer. Hopefully you're having a good time over in Germany. 4:56 left to go here in the first. 2-0 is the Saline lead. They beat Pioneer by 2 earlier in the year, 9-7, but that was over at Hornet Stadium. Pioneer hoping to get a little revenge and split the season series. Saline does have the ball and the 2-goal lead and a 2-goal run. Miller has it just outside the attack, so now Miller steps inside on the far wing, fires it back over to Brophy. Brophy grabs on the hop between the hash marks. Brophy over the restraining line, coming down. Brophy trying to fire it out in front. That grab by Denson. Denson moves it over on the near wing over to Philip Schaefer. Philip Schaefer firing it ahead as that out of bounds over on the far sideline. That will go over to the Hornets. As into the attack zone, spinning with it is Fisk. Fisk moves it over to Miller between the hash marks. Miller, about 7 yards outside the attack zone, calling out signals. Now Miller steps over the restraining line, cuts to his left. Miller spinning, trying to get a little bit of room to work. Miller with the bounce shot save by Denson. That ball over on the far wing. Closest to it is going to be Clark, as it was a shot running out. That will be Saline ball. 4:15 left to go, 2-0. Is the Saline lead. Then fired over. Crouch with it. Sidearm shot. Denson with another save. As Denson rakes it up inside of his crease. Denson walking between the hash marks towards the restraining line. Now Denson lobs it ahead to Suter, who was coming on for the substitution. Suter over midfield. Suter running down the numbers into the attack zone. Suter fakes the pass, comes in. Suter lobs it back behind. That raked up. Now moved over to Cow on the near wing. Cow cuts to his left. Now spins, trying to get above the goal line extended. Flips that back over to Lucas Schaefer outside the numbers. Now over to Ramon Gago in the midfield area. That moved over to Heatley. Heatley on the hop over to Sayre on the far wing. Ball wouldn't settle down for Sayre, trying to rake it up on the far corner. As that was Schembel trying to rake it up. That goes out of bounds over to Pioneer. Sayre has it on the far wing. Sayre sends it back over to Cow. Cow going from the far sideline to the nearest sideline, back in along the end line. Cow fires it over to Lucas Schaefer. Lucas Schaefer lifts it back outside into the midfield area over to Suter. Suter on the far hash marks. Now steps outside the far hash marks. Suter feeds it over to Armand Gago between the hash marks. Low angle shot, and that Eshelman pops it up high in the air. Good underhanded shot, trying to roll it low. Eshelman got a piece of it. Cow has it underneath the goal line extended. Cow, even with the goal on the far wing. Cow now spinning, trying to get a little bit of room to work. Goes above the goal line extended. Cow with an overhand bounce shot that popped up high in the air. Grabbed and now racing the other direction is Lafleur. Lafleur moves it on a bounce over to Schembel. Schembel in along the end line of the Saline zone. Schembel with the long cross feeds it ahead. Now coming ahead is Lafleur. Lafleur over his own restraining line. Now Lafleur over midfield. Lafleur coming down. Lafleur now feeds it ahead to Miller. Miller just inside of the attack zone. Now steps back into the midfield area on the numbers. Fires that over to Fisk between the hash marks for the Hornets. Fisk waits for substitutions, calmly walks towards the restraining line, now steps over. Fisk racing down the near hash marks. That ball loose. Coming away with it, Pioneer. Here comes Heatley. Heatley over the restraining line into the attack zone. Heatley feeds it to Lucas Schaefer. Here comes Cow. Cow trying to get in. He gets walled off. That ball loose. Ground ball trying to rake it up. Here's Lucas Schaefer with it. Lucas Schaefer outside the numbers on the near wing. Lucas Schaefer fires it back to Armand Gago just outside the attack zone. Now Armand Gago feeds it to Heatley. Heatley out in front. There's a shot and score by Ayers. Ayers puts it in. Pioneer cuts the lead to 2-1. Fantastic ball movement. Excellent pass to set up Ayers. And Pioneer gets it down to a 1-goal lead at 1:44 left to go here in the first. Gear in to take the draw for Pioneer, or the face-off, excuse me. On the other side is Balot. That rolled back, Gear raking it up. Excellent job. Gear loses an edge, goes down on the turf, but still has the ball. Gear trying to get around that double teamed, raked up by Sears. Sears for Saline goes over the restraining line, coming down on the far sideline. Sears underneath the goal line extended. Sears directly back behind the Pioneer goal, trying to get it over to Crouch as Denzen has it. Denzen lobs it ahead. Coming, here comes Pioneers. Sanook to follow, races into the attack zone. Sanook to follow, spins with it, now moves it back over. That loose, trying to rake it up is Churchill before it gets to midfield. Churchill feeds it ahead to Lucas Schaefer on the near wing, back to Churchill in the midfield area on the near wing. Churchill gets a little bit of room to work, now cuts towards the far wing. Churchill outside the far hash marks. Churchill trying to get around Baum. Now comes back and fires that back just inside of midfield over to Suter. Suter on for the substitution. Suter on the near hash marks, now comes between the hash marks. Suter waiting for signals, now fires that over to Sayre. Just off the tip of Sayre's cross, trying to hold it in. Sayre has that knocked away out of bounds, and that is going to be Saline ball. As Schembel has it, apparently knocked it away without touching it. That moved over on the near wing. Raking up. Here comes Lafleur. Lafleur sends it back to Eshelman. Eshelman behind his goal. Back over to Lafleur on the near wing. Here comes the Hornets over their own restraining line. Heatley trying to separate Lafleur from the ball. Lafleur coming ahead over midfield. Trying to knock it away is Lucas Schaefer out of bounds. That goes over to Pioneer. Great defense by Pioneer. 11 seconds left to go. Here comes Heatley over midfield. Coming ahead, that fired over. Suter picks it up. 8 seconds left to go in the first. Suter between the hash marks comes in. That ball lost, flipped out of the cross. Now coming over on the far wing is Schembel. And that will do it for the first at the end of one. It is Saline 2, Pioneer 1. As it was Clark scoring for Saline, that at 10:40 in the first. Then it was Balot scoring for Saline at 6:04. Pioneer had Ayers score at 1:44. Let's play a quick message from the MHSA and come back with your second period action.
Sportsmanship has never been more important between the lines in athletics and outside those lines in our communities. To listen, to respect, to understand, to practice common decency, to have competition without contentiousness. Sportsmanlike qualities are essential components of life itself. Let's all work together to not only be good sports, but good people. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
As they're announcing all the wonderful, amazing teachers, we'll see if we can get a copy of that list and talk about it at halftime. But thank you to all the wonderful, wonderful teachers here at Pioneer and everywhere who inspire us to do better, learn more, and make our lives better. Thank you to all you wonderful, amazing teachers. "12 minutes up on the clock here, starting the second quarter. As Balot in to take the face-off. Ayers on the other side. Pioneer going from left to right now in this second quarter. On the near wing is Rosenberg, joined over there by Kokales. On the far wing is Sanuk DeFalo. And over there with Sanuk DeFalo is number 7 that I don't have on my list. I believe that's going to be Ross. That ball popped up, trying to get it. Ayers trying to rake it up. Balot has it now. Balot moves back over. That ball loose, fired ahead by Keller. Keller moves over to number 7, who's racing ahead over the restraining line. That bounced over. Crouch with a shot. That goes just wide to the near side. Closest to it was Sears running it out. That will stay. No, that'll be Pioneer ball. Denson with a nice quick step as Denson able to run it out and give Pioneer possession. 11:45 left to go. Pioneer down by a goal, 2-1. Denson just outside of his crease, lobs it far down. That grab by Suter right out of midair. Suter over the restraining line. Suter on the near wing. Suter comes in as that ball deflected. Suter with a shot. Eshelman deflecting it over, but Cow closest to it. That will remain Pioneer ball. 11:29 left to go. No. As it was a shot, so it should be closest to it, and instead they gave that to Saline for reasons unknown. Keller coming down outside the numbers on the near side. That knocked away by Sanuk DeFalo. Sanuk DeFalo between the hash marks. Sanuk DeFalo moves it over to McDaniel. McDaniel fires that back over on a hop, trying to get it to August Gago, trying to roll it up. McDaniel has it. That popped up high in the air. Over on the near wing, Sears has it. Sears for Saline. Underneath the goal line, extended on the near wing. Flips that over to Clark. Clark between the restraining line and the goal line extended. Clark fires it back out into the midfield area. That over to Kokales. Kokales over on the far wing. Coming down, spinning with it. That shot goes high. That was Robeson. Closest to it was Saline. They will maintain possession as Sears has it in along the end line. Sears between the hash marks, trying to get on the near wing. Sears over the goal line extended. Sears sends it back into the midfield area for Robeson. Robeson flips that over on the far wing. That over to Bohm. Bohm on the numbers. That ball, ground ball, rolled over. Clark rakes it up and flips that back over to Robeson out in the midfield area. Robeson gets about 5 yards to work between the hash marks. Robeson spins with it between, trying to flip it over. That knocked down, rolling with it. That shot goes just wide as that was raked up on the ground ball. Crouch quickly shot it. It went wide, but closest to it is Sears, so that will stay Saline ball. 10-10 left to go. There's the whistle. That moved over on the far wing, trying to come up above was Kokales. Now Robeson thought about the shot, now spins. Robeson comes in, and Denson with a great save. Denson has been on fire so far, sending that ahead to Churchill. Churchill moves it over to Armand Gago. Armand Gago into the attack zone. Armand Gago takes a push from behind. Here comes the late penalty shot. That one just goes wide as he was aiming for the top right-hand corner, and it was inches away. Closest to it was Cal. That will stay Pioneer ball. They will also assess the penalty. 9:45 left to go as taking a knee over on the far side. That is Keller. So Pioneer man up There's the whistle as they fired over to Lucas Schaefer, top of the attack zone on the far wing. Over to Suter, just outside the attack zone on the near wing to Heatley. Heatley moves it underneath the goal line, extended over to McQueen. Now over to Cow on the far wing. Back up, top of the attack zone. Over to Suter. Suter moves it back over to Armand Gago. Over to Lucas Schaefer. That off the tip of his cross, trying to rake it up. Ball over on the far wing. Now that pulled away by Saline as Schembel fires it ahead. That loose. Woo, that went back to Eshelman. And Eshelman was out of the goal but moved in front to pick it up. So Eshelman fires it ahead for Saline. Now spinning with it. There's that number 7 over the restraining line on the defensive side. That fired a little out, a little high off of Fisk's tip of Fisk's cross. That goes out of bounds. That will be Pioneer ball as that was off Saline. 9:04 left to go here before halftime, 2-1. Saline with the lead. Suter fires it over midfield. That ball rolling towards the restraining line, raking it up, coming the other way. Here comes Michael Webster. Michael Webster into the attack zone for Saline. Michael Webster loses the ball, but raked up on the far wing by Crouch. Crouch outside the numbers on the far wing. Philip Schaefer comes over to watch him. Crouch along the far sideline, waiting for substitutions to come in. Crouch heading towards the top of the attack zone. Now Crouch stutters, steps back outside the restraining line, now comes back in. Sanook to follow, watching him. Crouch trying to split. He shot it from behind his head. That bounced. Sears has it. Sears moves it over to Fisk on the near wing. Fisk launches it all the way back out to Brophy. Brophy spins with it. Sidearm shot. Brophy, number 27, puts it in for Saline. Back to a 2-goal Saline lead. Saline started off with a 2-goal run. Pioneer able to snap that with a goal of their own. Now Saline not letting Pioneer get a goal run as they score. Again, making it 3-1 with 8:16 left to go. Oren Hauft in to take the draw, or take the face-off, on the other side is Gear. Gear trying to rake up the face-off. Gear comes over and gets it. Pioneer possession. Gear outside the hash marks on the near wing. Goes over midfield. Gear racing down outside the numbers. Gets into the attack zone. Gear stops. Flips it back. Now stepping over is Rosenberg. Rosenberg comes all the way back. Gets himself about 12 yards to work outside of the attack zone on the near wing. Now trying to come in. Here comes Rosenberg over the restraining line. Rosenberg fires at top of the attack zone over to Sayre. Sayre on the far wing. Back into that midfield area. Rosenberg goes off for a substitution as Lucas Schaefer fires it back behind over to Cow. Cow trying to go above the goal line, extended on the near wing. Now heads back towards the end line. Cow spins with it, going from the near side to the far side. Cow fires it over on the far wing, over to Lucas Schaefer. Lucas Schaefer back up top of the attack zone, over to Churchill. Sayre has it just outside the attack zone on the near hash marks. Now Sayre between the hash marks, fires it over on the far wing, over to Churchill. Churchill back out into the midfield area, over to Sayre. Sayre feeds it on the near wing, that over to McQueen. McQueen back over to Cow. Good to see McQueen back out there. He was injured for a little bit. Now Cow, even with the goal on the near wing. Cow steps back into the near corner. Cow working against Lafleur. Cow trying to get above the goal line, extended, loses an edge. That ball all the way back into the midfield area, but that's raked up by Lucas Schaefer. Lucas Schaefer keeps Pioneer possession. Now moves it over to Sayre on the far wing. Sayre goes underneath the goal line, extended. Sayre back behind the Saline goal. Sayre now cuts over onto the near wing. Sayre above the goal line, extended, fires it over. McQueen with a shot that goes just wide. Racing is Pioneer closest to it as Lafleur and Cow racing out over on that far wing. Pioneer maintains possession. Trying to come in with it. And shot as Lucas Schaefer coming up, fired at Eshelman. Able to grab that. Eshelman fires it ahead. Here comes Saline racing down outside the far hash marks. And coming in is Oref Helm. Now that popped up in the air. Crouch with it as it's loose. Pioneer with it. That launched ahead. Here comes Churchill. Churchill over midfield for Pioneer. Churchill races into the attack zone. Fires it over. Trying to get it over to Cal. That goes out of bounds because it was a pass and not a shot. That goes over to the opposing team, which will be Saline. That will be Pioneer ball as the officials saw it go off of a Saline player. Excellent job reviewing and changing the call there. 3-1. Saline with the lead. McQueen trying to rake up the ball on the near wing. McQueen still trying to get it. Wouldn't settle down. McQueen out of bounds. That is going to go over to Saline. Last off of Pioneer. Raked up as Schembel moves it over. Balat has it just inside the near sideline. Balat fires it ahead for Saline. Miller races, that raked up as that was Michael Webster. Popped up out midair. Here comes Suter. Pioneer has it. Suter into the attack zone. Suter on the near wing. Suter outside the numbers, comes out to the near sideline. Suter taking some checks from Michael Webster there. Suter trying to get around Michael Webster. Suter racing down now into the attack zone. Suter now makes his way around some defenders. Suter with a shot. Oh, he just missed as he was actually flipping it over his right shoulder as he had his body angled out. Able to get it. That was just wide. Able to run it out was Cal. Pioneer closest to it. Cal fires it over to Lucas Schaefer on the far wing. Lucas Schaefer back over to Armand Gago. Armand Gago moves over to Suter on the near wing. Suter. Right in front of him is Michael Webster. Suter cradles the ball. Now goes over the restraining line. Suter racing down on the near wing. Swim move by Suter. Suter with the bounce shot and puts it in. Suter makes it a one-goal game again. Pioneer. It's on the board here in the second, so it's 3-2. Saline with the lead. Ayers in to take the draw. Snook to follow on the far wing for Pioneer. On the near wing is Rosenberg. In to take the draw is going to be Stavros. That popped up high. And coming, here comes. Down on that far side. Here comes Pioneer racing ahead with it. Over the restraining line, Rosenberg has it. Rosenberg with a shot and score! Rosenberg took it all the way down, got about 7 yards outside of the goal line and fired it in. Pioneer with a 2-goal run, and it's all tied up at 3 apiece at 4:58. Back in to take the draw. This time instead of Stavros, it is Bellat in to take the draw versus Gear. On the Pioneer side, Churchill on the near wing with number 7. On the far wing is Kokales with Sanuk to follow. That ball loose, trying to rake it up. Here comes Sanuk to follow with it. Pioneer with possession as whistle and a timeout called. Pioneer will have it when they come out of the timeout. We're all knotted up at 3 apiece. 4:50 left to go here in the second quarter. You're watching Pioneer Men's Varsity Lacrosse, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
We do want to thank all the wonderful, amazing sponsors of Pioneer Men's Lacrosse. That includes platinum sponsors, Ron's Garage, Germain Honda of Ann Arbor, Gago Specialty Eye Institute, Franklin Templeton, Pollock Investments, and Gago Fertility Center. Gold sponsors includes Stadium Hardware, Linda Forrester of Real Estate One, McNamara Orthodontics, State and Liberty Clothing, Ann Arbor Made, and Monahan Seafood Market. Silver sponsors include Ann Arbor Lawn Care, Orange Theory, the Cow Family, and Adam Eichner Realty. Thank you to all the wonderful, wonderful businesses who help support Pioneer Men's Lacrosse. As it is going to be Armand Gago has it just inside of the 50-yard line on the far wing on the Pioneer attack side of midfield, waiting for the whistle. Everyone getting themselves set. 3-3 is our score. Armand Gago outside the numbers on the far wing. Now steps into the attack zone. Armand Gago Just outside the hash marks now, Armand Gago into the attack zone, racing down on the far wing. Armand Gago trying to get around Coquels. Armand Gago underneath the goal line extended. Armand Gago in along the end line. Back in the Saline zone. Armand Gago now races above the goal line, extended on that far wing. Fires it off. Lucas Schaefer with the shot. That went off of the defender. As raking it up is Saline, losing an edge. That popped up, is out of bounds. That will be Pioneer ball, as Coquels tried to get it and lost an edge over there. It's possible with all the rain yesterday that the field is still a little slick. .4:16 left to go. Looks like another timeout called, and we'll step away. How about a little push on? Get you fired up for the remaining .4:16 of this, the second quarter.
Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Ball on the ground in the far corner. Are they changing? That is going to be apparently Saline ball in the far corner as Miller has it. As that launched all the way over to Lafleur. Lafleur inside the numbers, coming down on the near wing. Lafleur now coming down on the near sideline. Lafleur trying to make it over midfield, fires that ahead to Keller. Keller launches it down on the near sideline. That gets over to Brophy. Brophy heads back towards the top of the attack zone. Brophy steps into the midfield area along the near sideline. Brophy fires it over to Miller. Miller between the hash marks. Miller with about 5 yards to work now, right at the restraining line. Miller steps over into the attack zone. Fires that back over to Robeson. Robeson back into the midfield area on the far wing. Rosenberg watching him. Now coming ahead, Robeson right to the restraining line, now racing down the numbers on the far wing. Robeson sends it underneath, that over to Crouch. Crouch underneath the goal line extended, fires it directly behind, that over to Sears. Sears trying to get above the goal line extended. Sears thought about it, now sends it back into the midfield area over to Miller. Miller between the hash marks right at the restraining line. Miller cuts to his left. Miller thought about this shot, now walled off. That sent back to Brophy. Brophy put it, sidearm lower angle shot, puts it in and scores for Saline. They take the lead. That is Brophy's second goal of the game. Both of them right after Pioneer goals at 3:12. So that cuts the Pioneer 2-goal run, and it is 4-3, Saline with the lead. In to take the draw is Balot versus Ayers, as it is Robert Webster on the far wing with Snook DeFalo on the near wing. It's Churchill with Keller. Ball set just above the blockades, trying to rake it up, still loose. Balot trying to get it, now trying to rake it back, still loose, trying to grab that ground ball. Ayers rakes it up, and Pioneer has it. Ayers outside the hash marks. Ayers over the restraining line on the far wing. Ayers now that back over. Back behind the goal, Lucas Schaefer with it. Lucas Schaefer goes above the goal line extended, now back below. Lucas Schaefer back behind the goal, over on the far wing. Lucas Schaefer flips that back over to Cow on the far wing. Cow back into the midfield area, over to Suter. Suter gets a little bit of room to work outside the attack zone, gets a full 10 yards. Now Suter racing down the hash marks, cuts to his left, spins inside the attack zone. Suter walled off. Now Suter flips it back over to Churchill. Churchill on that far wing, fires that over to Lucas Schaefer, back over to Churchill, top of the attack zone on the far side. That moved over. Now Ayers has it between the hash marks. Ayers Stutter steps to the near side. Ayers coming down, fires it underneath. That off the tip of the McQueen's cross, out of bounds. That will be Saline ball. 4-3. Saline with the lead with 2:09 left to go here in the second quarter. Long pass ahead to Balat. Balat shy of midfield, puts it along the far wing. That lost on the ground, trying to rake it up. Here comes Rosenberg. Rosenberg takes a check but holds the ball coming down over midfield. Rosenberg down the far sideline into the attack zone. Rosenberg takes a check, now moves out. There was a whistle. Timeout called. 1 minute, 50 seconds left to go here before halftime. Well, let's play a little bit more of the MHSAA messages.
Nearly 2,000 of the state's top student athletes will be recognized for excelling academically and in school activities through the MHSAA's Scholar Athlete Award, underwritten by Farm Bureau Insurance. The applicants will be in the running for a total of 32 $1,000 college scholarships. Application materials are available exclusively online through the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
1 minute, 50 seconds left to go before halftime. 4-3. Saline with the lead. Pioneer with the ball. As it looks like Lucas Schaefer has it just inside of the attack zone on the far wing. Lucas Schaefer fires it back to Armand Gago on the far sideline in the midfield area. Armand Gago spinning into the attack zone. Armand Gago feeds it between the hash marks as McQueen with an underhanded shot. Somehow, that was a save by Eshelman. Now, that ball coming back. Suter trying to fire it. That knocked down ground ball as that raked up by Eshelman. Eshelman skies it all the way to midfield, racing ahead with it. Here comes Balat. Balat over to Sears between the hash marks. Now that loose over on the far wing, raking it up is Philip Schaefer. Philip Schaefer gets over to Denson, back behind his own goal. Denson on the far sideline. Denson launches it over to August Gago. Now Sears trying to pull that away. August Gago rakes it up. Now he heads over midfield. August Gago outside the numbers on the near wing. Moves that over to Heatley. Heatley coming down on the near hash mark, steps inside of the attack zone. Heatley outside the numbers on the near wing, moves it back over to Armand Gago. Armand Gago just inside the near hash marks in that midfield area. All the way down on the near wing over to McQueen. McQueen fires it back to Cow in along the end line. Cow coming behind the goal, spins trying to come above the goal line, extended on the far wing. Cow has that popped away. Miller has it. Miller trying to get out of his own defensive zone. Miller bringing it ahead for Saline over midfield. Miller between the hash marks now into the attack zone. Miller back to the goal, hanging on to it. Miller now overhanded shot. Denson with the save. That ball over on the far wing with it. Kokales on that far wing. Kokales even with the goal. Now Kokales loses an edge. That ball loose, trying to rake it up. That over to Denson as the head of a cross is lost. Flag flown up. As that is, I believe, Philip Schaefer, who had the head of his cross kept removed. And that is halftime. So we will step away and play some messages from the MHSAA. And we will be back with second half action here at the halftime. It is Saline 4 and Pioneer 3.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Sportsmanship has never been more important between the lines in athletics and outside those lines in our communities. To listen, to respect, to understand, to practice common decency, to have competition without contentiousness. Sportsmanlike qualities are essential components of life itself. Let's all work together to not only be good sports, but good people. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The love of the game draws us to sports, as players, coaches, spectators, and officials. For officials, it's a way to stay in the game they once played, to feel the thrill of putting on the uniform, stepping out of the playing surface, hustling to make the call, and building the relationships which can only be built in sports. If you still have that love for the game, we always need new officials. Register now at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
So it is Teacher Appreciation Night here for Pioneer Men's Lacrosse, where the players honor teachers that have a positive impact on their education. The entire program would like to thank those teachers for their dedication, commitment, and their enthusiasm. That includes Miss Fortner, Mrs. Cole, Mr. St. Clair, Mr. Bellers, Mrs. Sherman, Miss Keeley, Mrs. Mackey, Mr. O'Connell, Mr. Hanson, Mr. DeWolf, Herr Leader, Mr. White, Mr. Leach, Mr. Emsch, Mr. Gustala, Mr. Majoros, Mr. Griffin, and Mrs. Podazak. Thank you to all the wonderful teachers who were nominated, all the rest of you teachers out there. Thank you for the amazing positive impact you make on the youth and all of us who have gone through. Thank you so very, very much. Let's go back to a few messages here from the MHSAA. We got about 6 minutes left to go, and then we will pop back. Actually, before I do that, let me again mention the wonderful, amazing sponsors of Pioneer Men's Lacrosse. That includes platinum sponsors, Ron's Garage, Germain Honda of Ann Arbor, Gago Specialty Eye Institute, Franklin Templeton, Pollock Investments, and Gago Fertility Center. Gold sponsors include Stadium Hardware, Linda Forrester of Real Estate One, McNamara Orthodontics, State and Liberty Clothing, Ann Arbor Made, Monahan Seafood Market. Silver sponsors include Ann Arbor Lawn Care, Orange Theory, the Cow Family, and Adam Eichner Realty. Thank you very much to those wonderful, amazing sponsors. Please support those who help support the team.
Nearly 2,000 of the state's top student athletes will be recognized for excelling academically and in school activities through the MHSAA's Scholar Athlete Award, underwritten by Farm Bureau Insurance. The applicants will be in the running for a total of 32 $1,000 college scholarships. Application materials are available exclusively online through the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Here are 5 more good reasons for multi-sport participation. Multi-sport athletes are more coachable. They have higher athletic ceilings. They become better talent in the long run. They have higher sports IQs. Their sports skills transfer, and they are better teammates. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
And we are coming back. There's the horn as we come back from halftime. 4-3, Saline with the lead over Pioneer. Saline won 9-7. A couple weeks ago, back over at Saline. Pioneer looking to get a little bit of revenge, pick up 2 points on Saline in the SEC Red standings. Again, Pioneer has 8 points and Saline has 12 points in the SEC Red. Saline has a game in hand, but this would be a huge, huge win for Pioneer. But they're down a goal coming back from halftime. Pioneer going from right to left here in the third quarter. Both goalies have been fantastic. Denson has made a number of highlight reel type saves. As Saline will start off, Miller has it, just sends it back in along the near wing, over to Crouch. Crouch back behind, over to Sears. Sears moves it over on the far wing. That launch back, top of the attack zone. Now spinning with it, Brophy on the far wing. Brophy with 2 goals. Robeson sends it over in along the near wing, over to Crouch. Crouch underneath the goal line, extended over to Sears. Sears goes from the near side to the far side, firing it over, and that's a save. Closest to it is Saline. They ran it out. That will stay with Miller in along the end line. Miller going from the near side to the far side. Miller launches it back, top of the attack zone to Brophy. Brophy over. There's a shot by Robeson. That comes over. Another shot. That one goes high, closest to it. Racing over. That is going to stay Saline ball as they were able to run it out. 11:23 left to go. Now coming over, that fire back. Brophy with a sidearm shot. Denson got a piece of it. Again, running it out. Saline closest to it as Rosenberg tried to get over there. Now Sears directly behind the goal. Sears coming over onto the far wing. As that ball loose, still on the ground. Now pulling it away. That launch by Clark over on the far wing. Brophy with a shot. That will go and stay Saline ball. As raking it up is Crouch. Crouch has it in the near corner. Crouch now heads up the near sideline. Crouch goes over the goal line extended. Now there's the whistle. The near official blew it to start, then the far official blew it dead. As the officials on the far side talking things over. And as soon as they face the other way, I can't hear them anymore. 11:02 left to go. Armand Gago heads off the field. As Pioneer has over with the knee over on the far wing, that is Philip Schaefer. Philip Schaefer has been that way since the first half. That's what gave Saline the ball to start off this period. Now that fired. Crouch has it even with the goal. Now underneath the goal line extended. Fires it over to Sears. Sears just underneath that, stolen away by August Gago. August Gago ahead to Armand Gago. Armand Gago over the restraining line, racing down towards midfield. Over midfield, Armand Gago takes a check and keeps on going. Armand Gago into the attack zone, flips that over to Sayre. Sayre, top of the attack zone, now back into the midfield area. Sayre over there, working against Schembel. Now Suter has it. Suter about 11 yards outside of the attack zone. Suter drifts to his left. Heatley came in a substitution. That moved over on the near wing to Lucas Schaefer, back over to Suter. Suter cuts to his right, getting around Miller. Suter trying to work his way in, now walled off. Gets a screen from Armand Gago. Suter back into the midfield area. Flips that over to Lucas Schaefer on the near wing. Lucas Schaefer back underneath to Cow. Cow directly behind the goal. Comes over on the near side. Cow back over to Lucas Schaefer. Lucas Schaefer back into the midfield area to Suter. Suter over to Armand Gago. Armand Gago over to Heatley on the far wing. Heatley sends it down. That lifted back over to Cow. Cow going over the goal line, extended shot. And that's a save by Eshelman. Loose. Now raked up. Coming down the far side is Robeson. Robeson for Saline. Comes down outside the numbers over the midfield. Robeson into the attack zone. Suter trying to wall him off. Robeson pushed back. Still pressure coming, but Robeson gets into the attack zone. Flips it over to Miller on the near wing. Miller. Centering attempt that rolls all the way out of bounds. That should be Pioneer ball on the far sideline. Pioneer down by 1. 4-3 is the Saline lead. 9:18 left to go here in the third. That launched over to Denson. Denson just inside the far hash marks. Denson thought about it, now runs towards the restraining line. Denson over the restraining line, heading towards midfield. Denson now goes over midfield. Denson racing down. Denson flips it over to Heatley on the near wing. Heatley between the hash marks flips it over on the far wing over to Sayre. Sayre with that shot and a score! Sayre puts it in and we are tied up at 4 apiece. That at 9:01. Denson coming all the way out. That reminds me of Jackson Roberts, former Pioneer lacrosse goalie who would run down. I think he even scored a goal at one point in time a few years ago. It's really easy to end up offsides when you have someone like a goaltender go over midfield. You have to be very careful with your numbers. In to take the draw. As that's raked up by Gear. Gear heading over into the attack zone. Gear coming down, pops it up high in the air. Ground ball. Trying to rake it up is Delaney. That is going to go over. As coming ahead with it, here comes Delaney. Delaney between the hash marks over his own restraining line. Delaney heading towards midfield. Delaney racing down just now between the hash marks just outside the attack zone. Delaney moves over to Fisk on the near wing. Fisk moves it even with the goal over to Crouch. Crouch back behind over to Sayers. Sayers coming over the goal line extended. Sayers now moves it back, top of the attack zone. That move back over to Delaney off the tip of Delaney's cross. Racing to get it. That ball still on the ground. Trying to rake it up is Rosenberg. Rosenberg heads the other way for Pioneer. Rosenberg over midfield just outside the far hash marks. Rosenberg into the attack zone. Flips that ahead. Trying to get it over to Sayre. And just out of his reach, that goes out of bounds. That will be Saline ball. 4-4 is the score. 8:13 left to go. Eshelman has it in his own crease, fires it over in along the far wing as Lafleur sends it ahead. That's just over Miller's cross, racing to get it. A battle trying to grab that ground ball, raked up by Miller. Miller just outside the near hash marks into the attack zone, sends it between the hash marks. Shot, that one just went wide. Closest to it was Sears. So that will stay Saline ball. 7:54 left to go here in this, the third. Sears directly behind the Pioneer goal, now trying to get above the goal line, extended on the far wing. Sears over there. August Gago watching him, now back into the midfield area. Fisk coming ahead with it. Excuse me, that's Brophy. Brophy with the sidearm shot. That deflects by Denson, out of bounds. Saline closest to it. 7:38 left to go. As that fired over to Brophy on the near wing. Brophy with the sidearm shot. August Gago got his cross in the way. That moved over. Great job firing it ahead. Good defense. Here comes August Gago over midfield. August Gago racing into the attack zone. Pioneer looking for their first lead of the game as that shot went just wide, but closest to it is Pioneer. Cal will rake it up in the on the end line. Cow coming head, working against Lafleur. Cow directly behind the goal, now over on the far wing, underneath the goal line extended. Cow fires that all the way back to Suter, just outside of the attack zone on that far sideline. Suter gets about 10 yards back. August Gago coming over to his right. Now August Gago goes off for a substitution. As coming in is going to be Ayers. Here comes Suter getting a running start. Suter spins into the attack zone. Suter trying to split between three players. Suter comes in, shot, saved by Eshelman. Boy, it's been a defensive, these goalies have been absolutely fantastic. Excuse me, that's not Eshelman anymore. That's 14. That's going to be Brown between the pipes. Raking it up, coming ahead with it. Pioneer trying to get it on the ground ball. Now, coming back. Balot sends it over. Here comes Brown. Brown firing it ahead for Saline. Gets it to Miller over midfield. Here comes Saline. The Hornets into the attack zone. Miller. There's a flag coming up. Delayed penalty to Pioneer. Miller between the hash marks. Sanook to follow, trying to poke that away. Shot and a score. Miller puts it in. That makes it 5-4. Saline back in the lead at 6:18. That is 5-4. Largest lead of the game was at the 6:04 mark when Saline scored their second goal and went up 2-1. Since then, It's been a 1-goal lead as Pioneer got it back. Actually, Saline made it a 2-goal lead in the second, but Pioneer answered back. So 5-4, Saline with the lead. 6:18 left to go. In to take the draw. Over there is Ayers for Pioneer, but it is Oren Haft. Oren Haft for Saline. Keller on the near wing. Actually, it's going to be Rosenberg in to take the draw versus Oren Haft. Pioneer, still a man down. Over on the far wing is Michael Webster for Saline and Porter for Pioneer. Ball set at the blockades for the face-off. And Whistle trying to rake it up. That ball over on the near wing as trying to pull away. Whistle. And that is going to go over to Pioneer on an illegal procedure. Or no, they're saying illegal procedure Pioneer, so it is Saline ball. Or no, it is Pioneer's ball. Thank you very much. Sorry. Now coming ahead, here comes Rosenberg. Rosenberg fires it over on the far wing. Over to Armand Gago. Armand Gago launches it down on that far sideline over to Sayre. Sayre, just above the goal line, extended, launches it back into midfield area. Blocked and trapped. Now coming ahead, racing down. Here comes Rosenberg. Rosenberg out of bounds, but that moved over. Here comes Lucas Schaefer, and that just off of his cross. Oh, Lucas Schaefer started to move to the goal and just couldn't get the ball to settle down. Armand Gago picks it up just on the attack side of midfield. Armand Gago has that knocked away, trying to rake it up. Battle for it, that loose. Now Crouch has it on the near sideline. Crouch racing down into the attack zone. Saline coming into the Pioneer defensive zone. That flipped up, and that goes out of bounds. That'll depend on, that is going to go over to Pioneer. Whether it was a pass or a shot, Pioneer was closest to it. Now August Gago moves that ahead. Suter has it on the far sideline. 5:11 left to go here in the third. Pioneer down by 1. Suter goes over midfield. Suter over to Churchill. Churchill between the hash marks flips over. Lucas Schaefer with a rising shot. And oh, that just about 5 inches over the crossbar. That had some steam to it. Sayre closest to it. That flipped over to Cow. Cow in along the end line. Cow underneath the goal line extended. Flips that back to Lucas Schaefer. Lucas Schaefer towards the top of the attack zone. That moved over to Churchill. Churchill coming down the numbers. Churchill goes underneath the goal line extended on that near wing. Churchill in along the end line. Now Churchill running, trying to head above. That flipped over to Lucas Schaefer. Lucas Schaefer sends it back over to Cow out in the midfield area. Cow spins with it. Cow now moves that over to Suter. Suter over on the far wing. Over there is Heatley. Heatley back over to Suter. Suter gets about 12 yards to work outside of the attack zone. Gets a screen by Churchill. Now Suter spins with it. He goes down but manages to keep the ball. Suter on the near wing. He gets a good screen. That shot raked up by Brown. Brown fires it ahead. Lucas Schaefer chasing it, trying to get it. That popped up high in the air. Grabbed by August Gago. August Gago moves it over to Heatley. Heatley outside the numbers into the attack zone. Heatley coming down on the far wing. Heatley takes a check, now retreats back to the top of the attack zone. That flipped to an oncoming Ayers. Ayers on the near hash marks. Ayers between the hash marks. That ball popped away, but a whistle. That is going to go over to Saline. And timeout called. That ball, when we come back, will be just inside of the Saline defensive zone. We'll step away. 3:45 left to go here in this, the third, as it is 5-4. Saline with the 1-goal lead. 3:45 left to go here in the third. Saline by a goal, 5-4. Saline has the ball as Miller just inside his own defensive zone. On the far wing, Cal right in front of him. As now, here comes Miller, loses the ball but gets it back on hop. Miller races over midfield. Miller coming down the numbers now between the hash marks. Miller steps into the attack zone. Miller over on the near wing now. Now substitutions as Balak goes off for Saline. Now coming in is Brophy. As Brophy has it, Brophy between the hash marks. Brophy back into the midfield area, flips it over to Miller on the near wing. Miller now heads towards the goal line extended. Miller over the goal line extended. 3:12 left to go. Miller going from the near side to the far side. As Armand Gaga watching him, Miller over the goal line extended, sidearm shot. That got deflected, ground ball raked up. As coming ahead with it, that was Wolf who got it. Now coming ahead, that popped up by McDaniel. McDaniel still with it. McDaniel outside the numbers on the near wing. McDaniel that into the attack zone, trying to race over to get it. Cal trying to get it, that back into the midfield area. Miller picks it up, but that knocked away from him. Now grab coming down the other direction. Here comes Brophy for Saline. Brophy outside of the numbers into the attack zone. Saline with the 1-goal lead and the ball. That on the far wing. As coming ahead, Brophy inside of the attack zone on the far wing. Shot as that goes wide. Closest to it was Clark. 2:22 left to go. Saline maintains possession. 5-4. There is a flag dropped. As that on the near wing. As the officials get everything figured out. Looks like Armand Gago is going to take a knee for Pioneer. So Saline, with the 1-goal lead, they have the ball and they are man up. As the ball on the far wing, even with the goal now sent back towards the top of the goal line. That shot put in as that was Robeson, number 18 from the far wing, as he did an underhand fast roller, able to put it in. So Saline matches their largest lead and matches the largest lead of the game as they have a 2-goal lead, 6-4. So they have a 2-goal run going now. 2:15 left to go here in the third. Ayers in to take the draw. Sanook to follow on the near wing. He's going to be joined by both. Suter on the far wing. Back behind him is Balot. See, that's Boehm on the near wing, by the way. Ball set. Trying to pull it up. Stravos loses it, and then over to Ayers. Ayers with possession on the faceoff. Ayers steps back into the midfield area. Ayers sends it over to Suter. Suter just inside the near hash marks, trying to get it over. Armand Gago back. Pioneer back to full strength. That flipped over to Sayre on the far wing. Sayre racing down the far sideline. Stops just shy of the goal line extended now. Sayre trying to get between the hash marks. Bounce shot. That's saved by Brown. Brown fires it over on the far wing. Here comes Saline. That launched ahead. Brophy has it over midfield. Brophy outside the numbers coming down on the far side. Brophy into the attack zone. Being watched by McDaniel. Brophy goes underneath the goal line extended. Now spins. Goes over the goal line extended. Trying to head back towards the top of the attack zone. Now flipped over to Boehm. Boehm gets it over. As that's Kokales. Kokales has Sanook to follow watching him. Kokales comes down the far wing. Kokales trying to send it over to Brophy. Brophy back top of the attack zone. Brophy launches it underhand over to Crouch. That shot deflected, goes out of bounds. Closest to it is going to be Saline. That is going to be Clark with it in the near corner. Clark launches it all the way back towards the top of the attack zone, trying to rake it up. That is Kokales. Kokales just inside the attack zone towards the top. Sanook to follow, trying to wall him off. Kokales goes underneath the goal line extended. Kokales in the near corner. Kokales gets a little room to work in along the near sideline. Kokales trying to fire it off. Now That's sent over on the far sideline. Underhand shot. That goes out of bounds, closest to it. That's going to stay Saline balls. That was Brophy with a wicked shot from the far side. Now coming ahead with it is Sears. Sears goes from the near side to the far side. Underneath the goal line extended. Sears now trying to get above the goal line extended. Fires it back. Top of the attack zone. Over to Delaney. Delaney loses it. That raked up. Here comes Ayers. Ayers racing down the numbers. Ayers over midfield. Ayers coming into the attack zone. Ayers now moves it over to Lucas Schaefer. Sidearm shot. Oh, that just went wide. Oh, so close. Missed by a matter of inches on the far side. That is going to stay Pioneer ball. It's good ball movement. That flipped over to Suter on the far wing. Suter coming down the numbers. Suter between the hash marks. Suter racing in. And that will do it for the third. So, it was Pioneer scoring to tie it up. That at 9:01 as Sierra put it in. Then a 2-goal run by Saline as it was Miller scoring at 6:18. And then it was Robeson scoring at 2:15. And that's where we're at as we head towards the fourth. It is Saline 6 and Pioneer 4. Let's play a little push on, get everyone fired up for a huge fourth quarter from Pioneer. We want to thank all the wonderful, amazing sponsors of Pioneer Men's Lacrosse. That includes platinum sponsors, Ron's Garage, Germain Honda of Ann Arbor, Gago Specialty Eye Institute, Franklin Templeton, Pollock Investments, Gago Fertility Center. Gold sponsors include Stadium Hardware, Linda Forrester of Real Estate One, McNamara Orthodontics, State and Liberty Clothing, Ann Arbor Made, Monahan's Seafood Market. Silver sponsors include Ann Arbor Lawn Care, Orange Theory, The Cow Family, and Adam Eichner Realty. Thank you so much for all the wonderful, amazing sponsors. 12 minutes up on the clock. 6-4, Saline with the lead. Gear out to take the draw for to take the face-off, for Pioneer. Rosenberg comes over to the near wing. Rosenberg joined by Fisk there. It's Gear versus Balat for the face-off, and Sanook to follow, joined by Delaney on the far side. Taking a look on the defensive zone for Pioneer, that's Philip Schaefer, McDaniel, and August Gago. Take a look at those folks on the attack side in a moment. That's going to be Sear, Lucas Schaefer, and Cow. Getting set for the face-off. Now the official puts it right above the intersection of the blockades. There's the whistle. Gear trying to rake it up, and Gear pops it up. That on the near wing, still trying to get it. Going down, that raked up as Balat fires it over. That grab by Delaney. Delaney over midfield for Saline. Delaney heads into the attack zone. Delaney over on the hop, over to Sears. Sears over out in front, that loose on the ground. Rosenberg trying to get it. Now Crouch trying to rake it up. Sanook to follow, trying to get it away from him. That's sent right back behind as coming over Griffin. Over to Sears, just above the goal line, extended on the near wing. Sears heading towards the top of the attack zone, being watched by McDaniel. Sears sends it back into... Sears sends it back into the midfield area, now racing down Delaney. Delaney on a hop, trying to get it in. Crouch with a shot. That goes wide, racing over. That is going to stay Saline ball. McDaniel trying to run it out and use that long cross to get closest to it. Sears has it back behind the goal. Sears wrapping around the crease on that far wing. Now back underneath. Sears trying to come above the goal line, extended on the near wing. Firing it. There's a shot. And a goal, as putting it in is Cole Kales. 3-goal run by Saline. They take a 3-goal lead, biggest lead of the game here at 10:52. Pioneer could really use to snap this Saline goal streak and start a run of their own. Balot in to take the draw in to take the face-off versus Ayers. On the near wing is Suter, joined there by Robert Webster. On the far wing, Snook to follow with Michael Webster over on that far wing. As the ball raking it up, trying to get it, one settled down. That pop back by Ayers. Snook to follow has it. Snook to follow, trying to get it over, and now Ayers has it on the near wing. Ayers trying to launch it over and just out of bounds, trying to get it to Sayre. Now Sayre has it on the near sideline. Sayre for Pioneer sends it top of the attack zone over to Ayers. Ayers flips that. Suter comes between the hash marks. Suter gets a little room to work. Into the attack zone goes Suter. Suter outside the near hash marks. Now flips that between the hash marks over to Ayers. Ayers gets about 9 yards to work outside of the restraining line. Ayers now cuts to his left over the restraining line. Ayers trying to feed it over to Suter. Then over on the far wing trying to rake it up is Sayre. That wouldn't settle down. Now coming the other direction is Robeson. Robeson over midfield. Robeson outside the numbers into the attack zone. Robeson overhand shot. Denson with the save. Popped up high in the air, trying to get it. That grabbed back behind and fed ahead, launched all the way down over midfield, trying to rake it up. That popped up. Now Balot has it. Balot heading down towards the Pioneer zone. Balot into the attack zone for Saline. Balot takes a heavy check, pops it up high in the air. Now feeding it over on the far wing. Coming in is Miller. Miller with a shot. Denson with the save. Denson going down almost to the ground to pull that one. Now Denson heads over his own restraining line. Denson heading towards midfield. Denson now steps back, flips it ahead. That grab popped away from Churchill, coming the other direction as here comes Miller. Miller goes down to the ground, pops that back, that ball loose, raked up by Pioneer. Here comes Heatley. Heatley down the far sideline. Heatley trying to make a move. There is a delayed penalty coming to Saline. Heatley gets it over. Lucas Schaefer with a shot and deflected. Brown got a piece of it. 8:58 left to go. Now the delayed penalty comes into play. 7-4, Saline with the 3-goal lead. Looks like Balot's going to go over and take a knee for Saline. Pioneer with the ball, man up, down by 3 goals. Pioneer could use a big offensive score here. There's the whistle. Cow sends it Lucas Schaefer, top of the attack zone, over on the far wing. Here comes Suter. Suter back to Lucas Schaefer. Sidearm shot. Lucas Schaefer with the goal. Back to a 2-goal lead. Sidearm shot. That was from about 15 yards out with a lot of pepper to it. Lucas Schaefer with his first goal of the game, and that cuts a 3-goal run by Saline. Huge, huge goal. Pioneer now would like to string a couple goals together. 7-5, 2-goal lead by Saline. Gear in for the face-off as Orendhaft on the other side. Suter on the near wing with Coquels. That ball loose, trying to rake it up. Snook to follow. That bounced away. Still trying to get it. Gear now pulled away as Coquels coming down the far wing. Coquels. .8:31 left to go. Coquels moves it over. Shot and a score as putting in number 18 Robeson as Saline quickly putting it back. Saline answers back, putting it back to a 3-goal lead. That at 8:26. Orendhaft in to take the draw for Saline. Ayers for Pioneer. Robeson on the near wing, joined over there by Delaney on the far wing. As that pulled in over there, that was August Gago trying to rake it up, popped up high. August Gago has it. August Gago for Pioneer over midfield. That launched over to Rosenberg. Rosenberg over the restraining line. Rosenberg between the hash marks. That flipped over on the near side. Sayre puts it in. Oh, he knew he was going to get checked, but he had the presence of mind to sidearm shot and release that ball before the hit came. Huge goal by Sayre. That is his second goal of the game. That at 8-11. 3 goals in the last 40 seconds. Fast and furious action here at Hollway Field. It's 8-6. Saline with the lead over Pioneer. 8 minutes, 11 seconds left to go. Brophy on the near wing with Churchill. Gear in to take the face-off. I believe that's Balot on the other side. On the far wing is August Gago. That is going to go over to Saline. Brophy bringing it, coming just inside the numbers on the air wing. Brophy now into the attack zone. Brophy spins with it. Just 10 yards inside of the attack zone. Now Brophy heads back into the midfield area. Brophy between the hash marks. Brophy looks in. Substitutions coming as Balot. Looked like he was going to run off. Now he just stays over on that far side. Brophy steps into the attack zone. Brophy cuts the far hash mark. That knocked down out in front. Raked up. Sanook to follow. Gets it over to Denzin. Denzin just outside of his crease. Launches it all the way down as that's stolen out of midair by Balot. Coming ahead with it on the far wing, moved over, that ball loose, raked up by Brophy. Brophy fires it, even with the goal on that far wing is Sears. Sears goes back behind the Pioneer goal, fires it over on the far wing, shot, and a goal, as I believe that was Crouch, number 11 on the far side. Saline answers right back, making it 9-6. Again, a 3-goal lead, that at 7-11. Left to go here in the fourth. Ayers in to take the draw. On the other side is Orenhoff. Suter and Keller on the near wing. Michael Webster on the far wing with August Gago. That raking it up, coming ahead with it. Here comes Sears. Sears into the attack zone. Ayers, Ayers. Trying to make a move. Ayers flipping it over on the far sideline. That grab by Armand Gago. Armand Gago over the restraining line. Armand Gago steps back into the midfield area. Flips that over to Ayers. Ayers over to Suter. Suter just inside the near hash marks into the attack zone. Loses an edge. That knocked away. Trying to grab it. Ground ball. Popped up high in the air. Now on the near wing. That raked up by Sayre. Sayre has it. That flipped over. Now racing down with it. Here comes Armand Gago. Armand Gago gets in. Shot. As that is blocked and saved by Brown. Brown with it. Good shot by Armand Gago, but an even better save. 2 very, very good goaltenders by Saline. Coming ahead. Racing. That flipped all the way down. Coming ahead, Crouch, who scored the last goal for Saline. Crouch racing between the hash marks as trying to pass it over. That goes out of bounds. That will go over to Pioneer. Well, big news coming out of Saline. I believe it was yesterday that C.J. Carr, their quarterback, got an offer from Nick Saban in Alabama. Coming ahead, here comes that sent ahead by McDaniel, racing ahead with it. Armand Gago fires it over on the far wing, spinning with it. That shot saved by Brown. What a good shot by Lucas Shaver, but an even better save by Brown, racing ahead. Here comes Saline. As coming down, Miller steps over the restraining line into the attack zone. Miller on the near wing. Launches it back to Balot right in the midfield area. Balot with the long stick coming in. Balot trying to get around Heatley. Balot comes in. Balot with it. Goes back behind. That ball loose. Raked up by Denson. Pioneer ball. 5:26 left to go in the fourth. 9-6 Pioneer. needs to cut into this lead. Coming ahead with it, here comes Heatley into the attack zone. Heatley with a blast! That one goes just wide. Pioneer closest to it. 5:13 left to go. 9-6. Saline with the lead. Pioneer with the ball. Cow has it. In along the end line. Cow over on the near wing. Now Cow going from the near side. Loses it. Rakes it back up. Cow coming ahead. That over to Heatley on the near wing. Heatley heads towards the top of the attack zone. That flipped over to Ayers. Ayers over to Suter on the far wing. Suter outside the numbers into the attack zone. Suter running down the far sideline. Being watched by Fisk. Suter goes underneath the goal line extended. Suter coming in along the end line from the far side to the near side. Suter walled off there. Suter directly behind the goal. Now comes over on the near wing. 4:41 left to go. That shot, that will go over to Saline. I think that was a crease violation, as that will be raked up by LaFleur. LaFleur fires it ahead. Grab. Delaney racing down the far sideline for the Hornets. Delaney comes over midfield. Delaney coming ahead, Rosenberg trying to block him. Rosenberg steals it away, heading the other direction. Here comes Rosenberg for Pioneer over midfield. Rosenberg takes a check, stays on his feet. Rosenberg into the attack zone. Rosenberg comes over on the near side. It's a yard sale as that cross was knocked down, trying to pull it away. As with it, Schembel had it. Now here comes Saline coming down just inside the numbers on the far side. Delaney into the attack zone. Delaney on that far wing. Suter trying to separate him from the ball. That fired back behind, and that's a timeout. 3:53 left to go. 9-6. Saline with the lead over Pioneer. Pioneer trying to pick up 2 big SEC red points and trying to split the season series with Saline. Saline, of course, has a sweep in mind. Let's play a quick push on. Three minutes, 53 seconds left to go here in the fourth quarter. Saline has the lead 9-6. Pioneer, the next game for Pioneer will be here at Hollway Field, as it is going to be senior night versus Huron. That is going to be a 5 o'clock game, so please come on down, celebrate these amazing, wonderful seniors. They have beautiful pictures up on the fence right in front of the field, so come on down, celebrate the seniors, 5 o'clock on Friday. We would love to see a huge crowd here, but first we'd love to see about 4 more goals for Pioneer in this fourth quarter. We'll see what Saline has to say about that. Saline with the ball. Looks like Brophy has it just outside of the attack zone. On the far wing, Brophy flips the cross. Now coming up, Sears has it on the near wing. Sears flips that back over to Miller. Miller out in the midfield area. Miller moves it over to Brophy on the far wing. Brophy comes into the attack zone. Brophy now steps back into the midfield area. Brophy gets a screen from Miller as Sanuk DeFalo comes out to watch him. That moved over on the far wing. Now coming down. Here comes Robeson. Robeson with a shot that deflected. Denson got a piece of it, trying to rake it up. That's going to go out of bounds. That should be Pioneer ball, and it is. Pioneer. August Gago fires it over to Denson. Denson just outside of his crease. Denson launches it, lobs it all the way down. McDaniel has it over midfield. McDaniel heading towards the attack zone. McDaniel into the zone. McDaniel with the shot that goes just high. Racing out to it. Sayre trying to get to it. As Pioneer closest to it, Cow will rake it up in the far corner. 3:05 left to go. Sayre has it just underneath the near wing, underneath the goal line extended, coming in. Here comes Suter. Suter racing in. Suter trying to take a shot, but that got knocked out of his cross. Coming away with it was Day. Day moves it back over to Brown. Brown back behind his own goal. Suter trying to separate him from the ball. As coming ahead, Brown racing. Brown sends it over on a hop. That goes out of bounds. As Brown trying to get it over to Day and just out of his reach. That will go over Thought it would go over to Pioneer. Was there a delay penalty that I didn't see? As I think Suter has to go take a knee over on the far wing. So that will put Saline man up. 2:42 left to go here in the fourth. Fisk has it just inside of midfield, waiting for the whistle. Rosenberg calling out signals. Fisk cutting down outside the far hash marks into the attack zone. Fisk racing, firing it just underneath the goal line extended. On the far wing, that's Crouch. Crouch back behind the goal, comes over on the near wing. Crouch heads towards the top of the heads over the goal line extended. Now that flip back to Robeson. Robeson coming down the hash marks on the far side. Shot. Denson with the save. Denson skies it over on the far sideline. Philip Schaefer racing down with it. Philip Schaefer trying to avoid Sears. Philip Schaefer back, sidearms it ahead. Here comes McDaniel. McDaniel trying to get to it. McDaniel trying to use the body to protect it. McDaniel rakes it up. McDaniel now stops, now heads into the attack. So McDaniel over to Sayre. Sayre. Whistle blown. That's going to be a timeout. 5:59 left to go. Just a tick under 2 minutes left to go in a 3-goal deficit for Pioneer. Well, as we said, it will be senior day on Friday, 5 o'clock. Come on down and celebrate the seniors. We'd love to see a full packed house. We appreciate that. Let's play a little push on, try and get Pioneer fired up for this last 1 minute, 59 seconds. 1 minute, 59 seconds left to go here in the fourth. 9-6 is the Saline lead. Pioneer has possession of the ball. It's a 2-goal win by Saline earlier, a couple weeks ago. Pioneer would like to flip the script, but it's going to take some extraordinary effort now. The ball in on the near sideline, just above the goal line extended. Armand Gago with it there. Armand Gago goes underneath the goal line extended. Lucas Schaefer to his left. Armand Gago comes from the near side to the far side, crossing in along that end line as he's working against Palat. Over the goal line extended, Armand Gago on that far wing. Armand Gago heads towards the top of the attack zone. Now switches directions. Armand Gago trying to get past a number of players. He goes down. That popped up. Shot. That deflects, trying to get it. Lucas Schaefer back behind. Now Suter trying to get it. He's run over. Lucas Schaefer had it but knocked out of his cross. Still battling. That ball moved back over. Grabbed by Brown, the goaltender. That moved ahead to Day. 1 minute, 23 seconds left to go. Day fires it ahead. That on the ground, trying to rake it up. Keller trying to get to it. As now coming ahead, here comes Pioneer. That moved over to Sayre. Sayre bounce, shot, trying to get it over. Closest to it was Cow. It all depends on if they consider that a shot or if it was a pass. 1 minute, 8 seconds left to go. Nine to 6, Saline with the lead. As somehow they give that to Saline, coming ahead with it, must have considered it a pass. That ball loose right at midfield, trying to rake it up was Lucas Schaefer. Now there comes Pioneer over midfield. That knocked away from Rosenberg. Coming the other direction is Robeson. Robeson comes over the restraining line. Robeson, as that will be a legal procedure, that will go over to Pioneer. 50 seconds left to go. Pioneer wants to cut into this lead as Rosenberg was knocked down, got back up. Rosenberg gets the ball back. Rosenberg into the attack zone. Rosenberg coming down on the near wing. Rosenberg racing in, firing it out. There's a shot. Oh, that just went high. Ayers with the shot. 34 seconds left to go. One more timeout. Well, earlier we had 3 goals in the space of 40 seconds. We have 34 seconds here. So it's possible, but it will take a Herculean effort from Pioneer. The other problem with those 3 goals is 2 of them were Saline goals, but that's okay. Let's play a quick message from the MHSAA.
Sportsmanship has never been more important between the lines in athletics and outside those lines in our communities. To listen, to respect, to understand, to practice common decency, to have competition without contentiousness. Sportsmanlike qualities are essential components of life itself. Let's all work together to not only be good sports, but good people. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
34 ticks of the clock left. 3-goal lead by Saline. Pioneer has the ball. So everyone getting set, coming back onto the field, getting into their positions. As Lucas Schaefer will have it, he heads right back behind the goal in along the end line. There's the whistle. 33 seconds and counting. Lucas Schaefer trying to get above the goal line extended. Lucas Schaefer with the shot that deflects all the way back out into the midfield area. As Suter sends it over to Armand Gago. Armand Gago over the attack zone. 20 seconds left to go. Side up shot, and Armand Gago puts it in. Armand Gago cuts it to a 2-goal lead. Pioneer doesn't have any quit in them. They'll battle till the very last whistle. 18 seconds left to go. 2-goal deficit for Pioneer. Ayers in to take the draw for Pioneer. Ballat on the other side. If Saline wins the draw or wins the face-off, that will most likely do it. Pioneer looking to gather possession and score quickly. Ayers and Ballat in face-off position. Ball set between them. There's the whistle trying to rake it up. That ball heading towards it, raking up. Here comes Ballat. 13 seconds left. Ballat over midfield for Saline. Ballat heading towards. That's sent over to Miller. Miller moves it over as there's a shot that just goes wide, but 4 seconds, 3 seconds left. 2 seconds left to go. Saline with the 2-goal lead. Pioneer ball. 1 second, and that will do it as a valiant effort. Pioneer battling hard, but Saline with a 9-7 win. That is the exact same score that we had when Saline won at Hornet Stadium. Pioneer next in action, as I said, Friday, 5 o'clock. It will be the senior game. Of course, we'll broadcast it so you can watch wherever you are at, but we'd love to see as many Purple Clad fans here celebrating these wonderful, amazing seniors. Thank you very much to my cameraman, James Wiseman, who's helped set up so I could breeze in right after work and hop on the mic. My name is Mark Wiseman. Thank you so much for your support of these amazing athletes wherever you are at. Have a fantastic rest of the day. We'll be back with Pioneer Women's Varsity Soccer tomorrow, 7 p.m. versus the Huron River Rats. Thank you and good night.